So here we're going to talk about rounding. So if a 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 follows the number in the place value you are rounding to, leave the number alone. So basically you're rounding down or you're leaving it the same. If the value or the number in the place value after is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or follows it or is after it, you will round up. So in other words, if the number to the right of the number being rounded is 5 or greater, round up. Otherwise, you can leave it alone, or you can look at it as rounding down, or leaving it the same, however you want to look at it. All right, so our first example in rounding, we have 94.367, and we want to round to 2 decimal places. So if we're looking at rounding to 2 decimal places, we're looking at this 6 right here. That's the second decimal place. So we then look at the number after it. There is a 7 after it. 7 is 5 or greater, so that means we will round up. So that will get us 94.37. All right, let's look at example 2. If we have 5.3094, and again we want to round to 2 decimal places, we're looking at the 0 here is the second decimal place. We look at the number after it. That we don't worry about the 4. Just because there's a 4 there, it doesn't play at all into what we're looking at. We only look at the 9 after it. The 9 is 5 or greater, so we round up. So this would become 5.31. If we're looking at the same number, but we want to go to 3 decimal places instead of 2 decimal places, we would look at the 9, that's the third decimal place. The 4 is less than 5, so we leave it at a 9. So this would be 5.309 if we're going to the third decimal place, because 4 is not 5 or greater. All right, let's look at example 3. So for example 3, we have 78.542, and we go to 1 decimal place. So if we're looking at 1 decimal place, we're looking at the 5, but to round it, we look at the number after it, which is the 4. The 4 is not 5 or greater. It is less than 5, so to 1 decimal place would be 78.5. So we're going to leave it as the number is. All right, let's look at example 4. 23.45, and we're going to round to 1 decimal place. So if we're going to 1 decimal place, we're looking at the 4, and do we round it up or not? Well, the 5 that comes after it is 5 or greater, which causes the 4 to round up. So this would be 23.5.